Welcome to Comments Podcast, the show where we discuss a variety of topics with your host, Nina. The Euro final match between Italy and England on Wednesday recently was an event to bring everyone together. The thrill of England reaching the final of a major football tournament in 55 years had jubilant crowds preparing to celebrate the English national football team's achievement. Of course, the anticipation that finally England had a good chance of winning with a new set of young players uplifted the spirit of so many people. Many were thrilled at the prospect of another great footballing feat. The English team's win at the semi-finals brought communities together and was just the tonic the nation needed after 18 months of pandemic restrictions. Some may say both the Italian and English football teams should equally really deserve to be considered winners for reaching the final, regardless whoever won or lost the match. Both nations had been severely impacted by COVID-19 and successive lockdowns, so the Euro final was one event everyone could come together to celebrate and cheer on their national teams. However, the Euro final was marred by violence and racism, which left many viewers totally dismayed. The Euro final was televised and many families would have been assembled watching the game together, as well as supporters gathered in pubs and celebrating in street parties. However, any jubilation was soon overshadowed by news of the scenes of violent disorder which were televised or images viewed which were uploaded onto social media platforms. There were reports of hundreds of supporters without tickets rushing through barriers to enter Wembley Stadium. Inevitably, with tensions running high, a violent fracas occurred with people being injured and stewards at the event getting caught up in the violence erupting around them. This is probably what the stewards of the event did not anticipate to be within their job description when they originally applied for their positions. Unfortunately, the stewards, who are only usually temporary staff and fairly young, will probably be deterred from stewarding at Wembley Stadium football events. Witnessing gratuitous violence and racist chanting is not what the vast majority of the crowd attending the Euro final expected to endure at what should otherwise have been a joyous occasion of the English football team reaching the final of a major tournament. Many ardent football fans and others who just supported the English national team for reaching the final were totally appalled by the racial slurs, chanting, booing heard after the missed penalties. It is deplorable that those attending the event felt it was acceptable to even consider chanting racist slurs towards any of the players. Nothing warrants this appalling reaction to football players missing penalty kicks. However, the boos were compounded with racist chanting which was directed at specific players within the team. It was disgraceful behaviour, and millions across the world who were watching the Euro final being broadcast were absolutely astonished. The backlash on social media for losing penalties has been absolutely vicious and totally unwarranted. Just reaching the final of a major football tournament is no easy achievement, and especially the English football team should be lauded for their success and not pilloried with abuse. The football players are involved with a plethora of community projects. They support a wide range of social campaigns. For example, Marcus Rashford has been highly successful in bringing the issue of child food poverty to the forefront in the UK and has been working arduously to ensure no child in the UK is deprived of a meal. Racism has reared its ugly head at the Euro final, and it's been an eye-opening reminder that there is still far more work to be done in football to eradicate this issue. Racism seems to be more prevalent and far more widespread in football than many originally thought. Unless you are an avid football supporter, football racism may not be an issue which many members of the public are aware of. that is still prevalent at many footballing venues and matches. The Euro final has finally raised awareness to the extent to which football players are subjected to racial abuse and how endemic it is in football. Racial chanting occurs on the football territories on a regular basis and should not even be tolerated. Games should be stopped immediately as soon as any racial chanting occurs. All of the players in the English football team deserve to be remembered for reaching the final for the first time in 55 years. That is their greatest achievement, for which they should be remembered and celebrated. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. You can subscribe to the Comments podcast via iTunes, Spotify, and other major podcast providers.